If your quest for longevity feels overwhelming, here's some good news. It starts with one simple daily habit. MitoPure gummies from Timeline. They're the first ever longevity gummies that ignite mitophagy, your body's natural anti-aging pathway. MitoPure is a clinically validated solution backed by over 15 years of research. MitoPure gummies utilize a powerful compound that redefines what's possible for your longevity. MitoPure produces the first ever urolithin A gummies that support your cellular energy so you feel strong, clear, and vibrant. Boost your cellular energy and enhance muscle strength and endurance, all without changing your diet or exercise routine. As someone who loves to stay active, I've noticed a significant boost in my workouts since I started using it. I feel stronger and more energized, and my recovery time has improved dramatically. Better recovery starts at the cellular level. For more information and to order, just go to timeline.com/Hoffman. Use coupon code Hoffman at checkout for 20% off. That's timeline.com/Hoffman for 20% off MitoPure gummies with code Hoffman.
Welcome to Intelligent Medicine, America's foremost program on health, medicine, and nutrition, featuring the latest on both conventional and alternative therapies. Now, here's Dr. Ronald Hoffman.
Welcome to another hour of the weekend edition of Intelligent Medicine. On Intelligent Medicine, we try to put it all together for you, the best of high-tech medical developments and the best of natural therapies. And with those working together, harnessed in tandem, you can optimize your health. So our number is 877-726-8255. That's the way we take calls here on Intelligent Medicine. So let's hear one of them.
Does vitamin C help the brain?
Okay. Well, that's a very interesting question because, let's look at it from the standpoint of what happens when you don't get enough vitamin C. And there is a medical condition which actually was very prevalent, especially among sailors who ventured far away from the mainland, were at sea for months and months, and they didn't get enough fresh fruits and vegetables. They subsisted on hardtack and dried salted meat, and there wasn't enough vitamin C, and then they developed this condition called scurvy. And in scurvy, you develop skin problems, your teeth loosen, you sometimes develop easy bruisability, but you also develop brain problems. There's a certain lassitude that affected sailors with scurvy. And so it was recognized that vitamin C is essential for brain health. It acts as an antioxidant and protects the nerve cells from oxidative stress. But it also is important for synthesis of the neurotransmitters that are the signaling molecules, such as dopamine and serotonin, that signal along brain pathways. So if you can't make enough neurotransmitters, you're going to experience some brain problems. Higher vitamin C levels, in fact, are associated with better memory, attention, lower dementia risk. And so there is actually pretty strong substantiation for the role of vitamin C in brain health. And you might say, we probably get enough vitamin C these days. We don't develop scurvy. Well, au contraire. It's actually been found that in certain hospitalized patients who are on crappy diets, they can't eat well for one reason or another, and especially if they have diabetes. Diabetes eats up your vitamin C. Your requirements for vitamin C are threefold higher if you have diabetes. That these patients actually show signs of what was thought to be an extinct disease, a vanquished disease, a disease that we had conquered because we now give people adequate fresh fruits and vegetables, which are a source of vitamin C. Well, merely having an orange occasionally isn't going to forestall scurvy if your demands for vitamin C are greater. So, vitamin C may even play a role in managing anxiety, depression, schizophrenia. It's also been shown to protect the brain from oxidative damage following seizures or brain injuries. So, vitamin C. Thank you for that great question that tees off an important discussion about a nutrient that, we don't generally think about vitamin C so much for brain health. We think of the B vitamins, we think of omega-3 fatty acids, we think of nitric oxide supplements, and so on. But yeah, vitamin C for brain health is very crucial. Folks, we just talked about nitric oxide last hour with an expert on nitric oxide, Dr. Nathan Bryan. There's a crucial molecule in your body that helps control everything, your circulation, your energy, your stamina, your heart, even your sharpness of mind. It's nitric oxide, abbreviated NO chemically. But after age 40, your body simply makes less and less of it, and there's less blood flow, there's less stamina, there's less of you. Well, now there's N101, the nitric oxide lozenge developed by Dr. Nathan Bryan, who's the world's leading nitric oxide researcher. It's backed by Nobel Prize-winning science. N101 is designed to naturally restore your body's nitric oxide levels. So just do what I do. Before exercise, I let one dissolve in my mouth. I take some in the morning, then I take an additional dose later in the day. Just twice a day supports your nitric oxide production. I especially make sure to take it before workouts. N101 goes to work in minutes. You can feel it releasing nitric oxide directly into your bloodstream, supporting healthy circulation, boosting oxygen delivery to your muscles and brain, and helping you feel the way that you're supposed to feel. More energy, better blood flow, sharper focus, day after day. N101, it's the science of you working better. Visit HoffmanNO.com. That's HoffmanNO.com, a special website we've set up for our intelligent medicine listeners to access a 10% discount. Use coupon code Hoffman10 for 10% off N101 at HoffmanNO.com. This item is an interesting item because the question has been raised, can your yoga pants give you cancer? Well, more and more we're seeing synthetics. We're seeing synthetic clothing. And I have to say, some of these new fabrics are amazing because they shed water. They used to be very hot and sweaty. In the old days, you would wear synthetics, and they were far inferior to ordinary cotton, wool, flax products. But the new synthetics are very interesting. Sometimes they're also blends of traditional materials like merino with some synthetic material. The problem is the synthetic materials shed chemicals into the skin. And, you wear your tidy whities that are made from a synthetic fabric, and maybe that could actually increase your exposure to toxic compounds. So, interesting story in the Wall Street Journal, and they're kind of goofing on this. Ken Paxton wants your Lululemon yoga pants. The Texas Attorney General claims they might pose a risk to consumers. Now, in the Wall Street Journal, they portray this as a stunt. They say that Mr. Paxton this week announced he is investigating the high-end athleisure company for misleading consumers. And talk about a stretchy theory. Excuse the pun. Lululemon, he says, markets itself as a wellness-focused lifestyle brand, but its apparel may contain so-called forever chemicals. These chemicals, Mr. Paxton contends, may be associated with endocrine disruption, infertility, cancer, and other health issues. And so he makes the point that maybe there's a problem. The Wall Street Journal sort of goofs on that and says, Wall Street Journal is kind of a libertarian publication, and they're saying that it's government overreach. But is it true that we're exposed to risks from our clothing? Article here, docs weigh in 3 toxins in cheap clothes linked to cancer and other health risks. They say that fast fashion can potentially contribute to chemical exposures in consumers who wear the garments due to the possible presence of PFAS chemicals. These are the so-called forever chemicals, flame retardants, dyes, pesticides, phthalates, microplastics, or even formaldehyde. Phthalates make synthetic materials more durable. They're actually a form of plastic. And I am especially wary of very cheap, fast fashion, often produced, in terrible conditions overseas under exploitive conditions. And I think that the biggest problem, it's not so much that you're going to absorb a lot of toxins through the skin. It may be that you'll absorb some. And over the course of a lifetime, that might accumulate. But I think the danger is more to the environment. Think of all the clothing that gets discarded because, these clothes are so cheap that after a while the fashions change. So you decide to exchange your wardrobe. And you can literally throw out these clothes. They go into landfills. Well, the chemicals that are in these clothes seep into the water table and then may be present in soil and water supplies and even released into the air if they are burned. So, I think it's a question of the dosage that you're exposed to. There's probably a very small amount of these chemicals that leach from the fabric into your skin. But I think the biggest problem is that we're substituting wonderful natural materials for products of the petrochemical industry that are highly processed, that require a lot of energy, and release a lot of environmental toxins into the ecosystem. So, even just laundering these garments can release chemicals and fibers, which may infect the environment. So I am a little wary of these synthetic products, as cheap as they are, as versatile as they are. And I tend to prefer, wool, cotton, linen, these natural products. And they're working out ways to make wool less scratchy through better processing, blends sometimes with some synthetic to improve the texture, the quality of some of these wool products. These are the products that I personally favor, good old-fashioned natural fabrics. 877-726-8255 is our number, and this is Intelligent Medicine.
You know that feeling when everything just clicks? Your mind is sharp, your mood is steady, your body feels like it's firing on all cylinders. That's not luck, that's what your body is capable of every single day. Now, I've looked into a lot of fish oil supplements, and honestly, most of them are mystery-sourced, over-processed, blasted with heat, and packed with synthetic add-ins. But this one is different. Omega-3 Rejuvenate from Big Bold Health starts with wild Alaskan salmon and cod, sustainably caught from some of the cleanest waters on the planet, and then it's processed at low temperatures to preserve what actually matters. We're talking about real omega-3s, naturally occurring vitamins A and D, and pro-resolving mediators, or PRMs, that help your body balance its own immune response. What does that mean for you? Clearer thinking, more stable mood, and real nature-based support for your heart and immune system. No shortcuts, no synthetic nonsense. And it was developed by Dr. Jeffrey Bland, a true pioneer in the world of complementary health. If you want to feel the difference, go to bigboldhealth.com/Hoffman. That's bigboldhealth.com/Hoffman and use code Hoffman for 20% off site-wide. Once you feel it, you'll know. If your quest for longevity feels overwhelming, here's some good news. It starts with one simple daily habit. MitoPure gummies from Timeline. They're the first ever longevity gummies that ignite mitophagy, your body's natural anti-aging pathway. MitoPure is a clinically validated solution backed by over 15 years of research. MitoPure gummies utilize a powerful compound that redefines what's possible for your longevity. MitoPure produces the first ever urolithin A gummies that support your cellular energy so you feel strong, clear, and vibrant. Boost your cellular energy and enhance muscle strength and endurance, all without changing your diet or exercise routine. As someone who loves to stay active, I've noticed a significant boost in my workouts since I started using it. I feel stronger and more energized, and my recovery time has improved dramatically. Better recovery starts at the cellular level. For more information and to order, just go to timeline.com/Hoffman. Use coupon code Hoffman at checkout for 20% off. That's timeline.com/Hoffman for 20% off MitoPure gummies with code Hoffman.
Subscribe to the Intelligent Medicine Podcast, updated several times weekly. Go to drhoffman.com.
Welcome back to Intelligent Medicine. Dr. Ronald Hoffman here. Our number is 877-726-8255. And we are starting to realize, amidst the AI revolution, that there are some perils associated with it when it comes to our health. There was a celebrated case recently. It was described in depth in the Wall Street Journal, where a guy fell in love, literally fell head over heels in love with a chatbot. And the chatbot periodically issued some standard warnings to him, like, looks like this is getting a little bit too weird. Maybe you should consult a mental health professional. But then the chatbot went along with his delusions and finally urged him to join her, and I use the word her advisedly because the she was a chatbot simulating a woman with a female voice, to join her in cyberspace. And the only way to do that was for him to leave his human body and merge his server, so-called, because the chatbot referred to his soul as his server in cyberspace. So the guy ultimately committed suicide. There's a lawsuit around this. It's a really kind of crazy scenario. And so they're suing Google because the chatbot didn't issue enough warnings and didn't know when to stop in encouraging this guy's delusions. And by the way, he had no prior history of mental disease, mental disorders. It was almost like it kindled a latent susceptibility to suicidal ideation and distorted thought. All right, here's another way that things can go wrong. People consult the internet all the time, and now we've got ChatGPT. And a lot of people, before they go to the doctor, it's so expensive to go to the doctor, it's hard to find a doctor, it's hard to, you have to wait for an appointment. They consult ChatGPT to get an answer. And sometimes it actually, spits out pretty plausible information. But here's an example where it backfired. Scientists invented a fake disease. AI told people it was real. So, are you one of the people who has dark circles around your eyes? Have you been peering into screens all day? Well, you might have a newly identified condition called Zeaxanthin. And it's said to be caused by excessive exposure to blue light, which you get from computer screens, right, and from handheld devices. It turns out it was a hoax. And it was actually part of a project by researchers in Sweden who dreamt up the skin condition and then uploaded 2 fake studies about it to a preprint server in early 2024. And the problem was that the experiment worked too well. Within weeks of uploading information about the condition, major AI systems began repeating the invented condition as if it were real. So people doing a search, I've got discoloration, dark circles around my eyes. They began to suggest the possibility that they had this condition, Zeaxanthin, which ultimately it was not a real condition. They made up the name of the author, they made up the data, and finally Google caught on. And by March of this month, ChatGPT declared the condition, quote, is probably a made-up fringe or pseudoscientific label. So garbage in, garbage out. It used to apply to computer science, and it still applies to AI. Beware sometimes of the things that AI tells you. Human intercession is important for interpreting all that information. 877-726-8255 is our number. I'm Dr. Ronald Hoffman, and we'll be back with more of your questions when we return to Intelligent Medicine.
Have you ever heard heard someone say that probiotics didn't work for them? Since all probiotics are not the same, the probiotic you choose can make the difference between superior results and no results. Look for an enriched formula containing these 3 key components for best results: probiotics, prebiotics, and postbiotics. A worldwide leader in microbiome health for over 40 years, Dr. Ohhira's Probiotics is an enriched full-spectrum probiotic system fermenting multiple strains of probiotic bacteria and nourishing prebiotics. The result? Transformative postbiotic metabolites that maintain and support the biodiversity of flora in your gut for optimal digestion, gut-brain, and immune health. Dr. Ohhira's, certified vegetarian, free of gluten, allergens, dairy, and GMOs. For a superior probiotic formula, get Dr. Ohhira's probiotics today at Sprouts, Natural Grocers, and other natural health retailers nationwide.
You know that feeling. You're exhausted, but your brain just won't quit. You're staring at the ceiling, watching the clock, dreading the morning. Here's something that actually helps. It's called Kyolic Specialty Series Sleep Mushrooms Plus. And it's unlike anything you've tried before. This isn't some chemical sleep aid that leaves you foggy and dragging the next day. This is a clean botanical formula built around certified organic reishi mushrooms grown on real farms, not in a lab, combined with valerian root to help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer, L-theanine to quiet that racing mind, and Kyolic aged garlic extract, one of the most trusted wellness ingredients available for circulation and stress support. It's vegan, non-GMO, no gluten, no dairy, no artificial anything. Just 2 capsules, 2 hours before bed, and you wake up actually rested, not groggy, not out of it, just refreshed. Kyolic Sleep Mushrooms Plus from Wakanaga. Learn more about this and the entire Kyolic Mushrooms Plus line at Kyolic.com. That's Kyolic.com. Look for Kyolic at natural health stores nationwide and online.
drhoffman.com, your portal for cutting-edge information on health and nutrition.
Welcome back to Intelligent Medicine. Dr. Ronald Hoffman here. Reminder, you can get questions to us by calling 877-726-8255 and merely recording a short query or comment, as did this individual. Let's hear it.
Hi, Dr. Hoffman. In driving my car, I came to a stop and I needed to get something on the passenger side. I bent over to what was on the seat and I hit my right breast. I did see stars for a moment or two, but ever since I did that, which is about 10 days, the breast is still hurting. What I wanted to know, is that normal, or should I be concerned and have it checked out? Again, this was about 10 days ago, to be exact. I really appreciate your help. Any information that you should give me or guidance would be greatly appreciated.
Okay. So before I address that question, let me just state something in general, is that part of the art of aging is when to exercise constructive denial and when to pay attention to a health problem. And it's a balancing act, because if every ache or pain or injury occasioned a panicked, trip into cyberphobia, where you look at the most dire possibilities, it may be a long life, but it's going to be a pretty unpleasant life because you're going to see all the dire possibilities. On the other hand, you have to pay attention to things that persist. And so I kind of do this because every day, I wake up and it's like kind of a system check. Like, how am I doing? How am I feeling? I kind of go through the various systems and I go, generally I go, I'm doing pretty well. And by the time I walk around a little bit, do some floor exercises, have a cup of tea, it's all worked out. But it's usually there's something. There's a little back pain. There may be, I may have walked too much, and there may be a little bit of ankle pain. Something's going on. But usually I just ignore it until it persists, and then it does require attention. And that's the time to, consult with a doctor. But it's a balancing act. And yet it drives people a little crazy because on the one hand, people ignore serious problems until it's too late. And on the other hand, people become very hypochondriacal about every little problem. So it really is a balancing act. So here you have had a distinct injury, and you might expect to have a time course over which the injury heals. And yes, breast injuries can cause damage to the breast tissue. There can be internal bleeding, which causes inflammation and pain. And you should see that over a period of time, over a week or so, there should be signs that it is gradually resolving, that it's healing. However, there is the possibility that, coincidentally, you may have brought to light some sort of underlying problem. Now, generally, and I'll reassure you on this count, is that generally breast cancer, which is the most dire possibility here, and women worry about it all the time, is generally painless, but it isn't always painless. And in particular, if you hit your breast in a place where there is a hidden breast tumor, it may create some inflammation and pain. So, easy process by which if after a couple of weeks you don't see signs that it's improving, you can get some breast imaging. You can get an ultrasound or you can get a mammogram and find out if there is an underlying problem. Actually, here, unlike normal breast screening, they might start with an ultrasound to see if there's a tissue injury there that's the cause of the problem, and it should heal. There are also women who just have painful breasts. This is called mastalgia, fancy word. And many women who have painful breasts have what's called fibrocystic breasts, so that when they examine their breasts, it kind of drives them crazy because they feel a lot of lumps and bumps. And it's even harder to do a mammogram because the breast densities sometimes can conceal small tumors. So these are the women who get mammograms and ultrasounds and sometimes MRIs to get more precise screening. But I found that, one of the treatments for that is to reduce consumption of coffee, tea, and chocolate. Yeah, these are methylxanthine containing products that sometimes worsen breast tenderness, but also that a cure for it, for many of the women I've seen, is dietary iodine or supplemental iodine. And you can take kelp extracts or you can take concentrated iodine supplements under supervision because too much iodine could be bad for the thyroid. But over a period of time, that sometimes resolves breast tenderness. But this is different. This is not just breast tenderness when you try to lie on your stomach and you find it painful, and it usually affects premenopausal women. This is an injury, and so I would suspend your concern over it for a few more days, and if by the time you hear this it's just not better, get it evaluated. Really, I think that the precautionary principle applies here. So thanks for that interesting question. Folks, if your quest for longevity feels overwhelming, well, here's some good news. It starts with one simple daily habit. MitoPure gummies from Timeline. They're the first ever longevity gummies that ignite something called mitophagy, which is your body's natural anti-aging pathway. Notice that mitophagy sounds a little like the mitochondria. Well, mitophagy is a way that your body cleans itself of inefficient mitochondria, thus improving your cellular performance. MitoPure is a clinically validated solution backed by over 15 years of research. MitoPure gummies utilize a powerful compound that redefines what's possible for your longevity. MitoPure produces the first ever urolithin A gummies that support your cellular energy so you feel strong, clear, and vibrant. So boost your cellular energy and enhance muscle strength and endurance, all without changing your diet or exercise routine, which you should anyway. As someone who loves to stay active, I've noticed a significant boost in my workout since I started using it. I feel stronger and more energized. My recovery time has improved dramatically. So this is a product that I travel with. I actually use the urolithin A MitoPure powder in my smoothie that I've described at drhoffman.com. You can look at that, the ingredients in my post-exercise smoothie. But when I'm traveling, I like the gummies because they're portable. better recovery starts at the cellular level. For more information or order, just go to timeline.com/Hoffman. Use coupon code Hoffman at checkout for 20% off. That's timeline.com/Hoffman for 20% off Mighty Pure Gummies with code Hoffman. All right. You've seen a lot of celebrities lose a lot of weight, and that's great. They look transformed. Sometimes they're virtually unrecognizable. Sometimes it prompts concern. And when I saw Demi Moore, who is a very, very attractive lady, who at 63 has sparked some real concern and speculation regarding her gaunt appearance. She's almost skeletal now at her red carpet events this year. And some fans are attributing it to potential GLP-1 use. There is a concern because, rational use of these medications to improve your metabolism, to reduce the risk of heart disease, diabetes, get your blood pressure down, makes a lot of sense. I mean, there's a health rationale, but unfortunately, there's a certain percentage of people out there who have frank eating disorder tendencies. They like to starve themselves, and they can utilize these medications to get ultra thin and gaunt and barely eat anything. And Demi Moore is a potential candidate. She has historically struggled with body image and eating disorders. And she now reports that she feels healthy at the current weight, but there may be a problem. And there's actually some speculation now about this. It's only beginning to emerge that what happens when a person with an eating disorder like anorexia or bulimia, who has binging or self-starving behaviors, uses one of these GLP-1 meds. Well, they interview a director of the Princeton Center for Eating Disorders. She's Dr. Rebecca Boswell, who talks about this and says that this is a terra incognita. We just don't know what is happening out there because, unfortunately, a certain percentage of the population, people are prone to eating disorders. And we just don't know what it does to their brains. And she says, and I think this is a good point, these medications don't allow people to experience their hunger cues and practice intuitive eating, which is an important goal in eating disorder treatment. Because with people with eating disorders, we want to restore their ability to experience the internal sensations of real hunger versus the drive towards suppressing those signals. And she says that for those with eating disorders, GLP-1s can be tempting as a form of restriction. And unfortunately, she notes there's no protocol in place to screen for eating disorders prior to prescribing GLP-1 receptor agonists. Doctors don't ask, and now you can get these things online. So it might create a whole new set of problems for the eating disorder community. And people might be getting themselves into trouble through overzealous use of these medications to achieve their unrealistic weight loss goals. They say, women can never be too rich or too thin. Well, yeah, au contraire, you can be too thin because it can really put you at risk for serious health problems if you go overboard with these medications unnecessarily in the quest of an unrealistic body image. I think this is a problem that's unrecognized, and we really need to look at it. 877-726-8255, our number, and this is Intelligent Medicine.
There were many important reasons why I started my FullScript online supplement dispensary. I wanted to offer you the same curated professional-grade supplement brands that I use, the ones I know and trust. I also wanted to ensure that they weren't counterfeit or expired. Recently, I've been hearing more and more about counterfeit or expired products purchased from online retailers. With FullScript, you can be confident your supplements are genuine and they'll arrive with optimal freshness and potency. Also, buying through FullScript offers fast, free shipping, optional refill reminders, and a highly rated mobile app. It's safe, secure, HIPAA compliant, and offers world-class support. Go to drhoffmanstore.com for more information and to start your free FullScript account. You'll get access to the supplements and features you need to help you achieve your wellness goals, including my custom targeted protocols that combine the products I recommend to address specific needs: heart health, immune support, and much more. To get started, just go to drhoffmanstore.com, drhoffmanstore.com. There's a crucial molecule in your body that helps control everything: your circulation, your energy, your stamina, your heart, even your sharpness of mind. It's called nitric oxide. But after age 40, your body makes less and less of it. Less blood flow, less stamina, less of you. But now there's N101, the nitric oxide lozenge developed by Dr. Nathan Bryan, the world's leading nitric oxide researcher backed by Nobel Prize-winning science. N101 is designed to naturally restore your body's nitric oxide levels. Just do what I do and let one dissolve in your mouth twice a day. I especially make sure to take it before workouts. N101 goes to work in minutes, releasing nitric oxide directly into your bloodstream, supporting healthy circulation, boosting oxygen delivery to your muscles and brain, helping you feel the way you're supposed to feel. More energy, better blood flow, sharper focus. Day after day. N101, it's the science of you working better. Visit HoffmanNO.com. That's HoffmanNO.com and use coupon code Hoffman10 for 10% off N101.
A regular dose of intelligent medicine injected directly into your inbox. Subscribe to Dr. Hoffman's free newsletter. Just go to drhoffman.com.
Welcome back to Intelligent Medicine. Dr. Ronald Hoffman here. Our number is 877-726-8255, and that entitles you to call and leave a question, and let's hear one of those.
How long is this garlic aged for?
Okay. I happen to know that just off the tip of my tongue. Aged garlic extract, the product made by Kyolic, it's known as Kyolic, made by Wakanaga, is aged for 20 months. And you might say, why age garlic? What additional benefit does it impart? Well, just as wine and whiskey and beer and various things change in their composition with aging, so too does garlic. And what happens to garlic when you age it is certain compounds they develop what's called allele binding, and this actually kind of supercharges these compounds so that they have different properties than raw garlic. So that's really the secret sauce in aged garlic extract. It also is helpful in reducing the odor associated with garlic. The first claim to fame of Kyolic was that it was an odorless garlic. And they knew there were health benefits, but over the years they've done the research that shows that there's cardiovascular benefits, there's immune benefits. And lately, I just did a podcast on the subject with Jane Jansen. They have released a study, a very interesting study that shows that just as N101, we just talked about nitric oxide support, that aged garlic extract also offers nitric oxide support, and that may be particularly crucial for brain function. Improving levels of nitric oxide in the brain, as Dr. Nathan Bryan and Jane Jansen have described, can improve cognitive function and slow brain aging. So there you have it on aged garlic extract. I'm a big fan. Check out more information at Kyolic.com. All right, here's another nutrient that can be beneficial, and we know of it as an eye nutrient. Previously, we've recognized that lutein and zeaxanthin, which are yellow, orange, and red compounds, they're carotenoids that you can find in green leafy vegetables and carrots, of course, but also corn. Zea, I think, is Latin for corn. So zeaxanthin is something that is a yellowish-orange pigment. It's also present in egg yolks, right? So a common nutrient could supercharge cancer treatment that got my attention. They say a simple nutrient from everyday vegetables could help supercharge the body's fight against cancer. It turns out to be zeaxanthin. Researchers say we were surprised to find that zeaxanthin, already known for its role in eye health, has completely new function in boosting anti-tumor immunity. They did research on T cells, which are what are the body's defense against cancer. T cells can hunt down and destroy cancer cells. And in fact, CAR T cell therapy is now introduced as a form of immunotherapy, which helps our body fight off cancer. So this is actually being mainstreamed as a high-tech therapy, CAR T cell. And so what they found is that with or without CAR T cell, zeaxanthin helps to support these T cells, and it increases T cell activation, boosts cytokine production, and improves the T cell's ability to kill tumors. They said that in mouse studies, adding zeaxanthin to the diet slowed tumor growth, but the results became even more pronounced when combined with immune checkpoint inhibitors, a type of immunotherapy that has transformed cancer treatment in recent years. There's CAR T cell that's a little different, but checkpoint inhibitors, okay, when you inhibit a checkpoint, you unleash the power of the immune system to fight cancer. So you're inhibiting a checkpoint, that's a double negative. Inhibiting an inhibitor means you augment the immune response. The team also tested human T cells that have been engineered to target specific cancer, and in laboratory experiments, zeaxanthin enhanced these cells' ability to destroy melanoma, multiple myeloma, and glioblastoma cells. So pretty cool. They showed that zeaxanthin improves both natural and engineered T cell responses, which suggests high potential for patients undergoing immunotherapy. So very cool. They tend to say, if you're taking any form of chemo, radiation, or immunotherapy, they say, oh, stay away from supplements. But no, au contraire. Folks, that feeling when you wake up tired even after a full night's sleep, when you push through your day running on empty, wondering where your energy went. Well, there's something most people don't know, that fatigue may actually be happening inside your cells. That's why I've been using NT-Factor Lipids powder from Nutritional Therapeutics for years. I don't go a day without it. It's based on over 20 years of research and a patented process called membrane lipid replacement, which actually repairs the damaged components of your cell membranes, restoring your cell's ability to produce energy the way they did when you were younger. Clinical studies show that NT-Factor can reduce fatigue by up to 40%. Just take 1 or 2 scoops a day, mix it into a smoothie, as I do on a daily basis, or sprinkle it on food, perhaps on a dessert, and you're giving your body the science of youthful energy. NT-Factor Lipids powder comes in 2 convenient sizes. For more information and to order, just call 800-982-9158, 800-982-9158, or go to ntfactor.com. That's ntfactor.com for NT-Factor Lipids powder. Folks, thanks very much for joining us today. Make sure that you access all the resources available to you via drhoffman.com. Become a more informed listener to Intelligent Medicine by downloading all our podcasts, subscribe to our newsletter, follow us on social media, and utilize FullScript as your source for high-quality supplements. Have a safe and healthy weekend. I'm Dr. Ronald Hoffman.
There were many important reasons why I started my FullScript online supplement dispensary. I wanted to offer you the same curated professional-grade supplement brands that I use, the ones I know and trust. I also wanted to ensure that they weren't counterfeit or expired. Recently, I've been hearing more and more about counterfeit or expired products purchased from online retailers. With FullScript, you can be confident your supplements are genuine and they'll arrive with optimal freshness and potency. Also, buying through FullScript offers fast, free shipping, optional refill reminders, and a highly rated mobile app. It's safe, secure, HIPAA compliant, and offers world-class support. Go to drhoffmanstore.com for more information and to start your free FullScript account. You'll get access to the supplements and features you need to help you achieve your wellness goals, including my custom targeted protocols that combine the products I recommend to address specific needs: heart health, immune support, and much more. To get started, just go to drhoffmanstore.com, drhoffmanstore.com.